welcome everybody. Howdy to my Fighter Academy conglomerates. Zaferino here. Today we are going to be working on our Footsies fetish numero 6. All right, number 6 today. It is chapter 6 of the Footsies Handbook. So if you guys don't know, the Footsies Handbook is basically like a series of concepts taught over the years throughout various Street Fighter titles. If you get your hands on it, it helps you to just break down the abstract concept of footsies and give you scenarios and practical solutions to each of these puzzles that present themselves in neutral. Okay, so for chapter 6, we'll get into it. Chapter 6. Although footsies primarily occupy mid-range zones, quite a few basic footsies components can be effective in close quarters too. In fact, having a solid foundation of mid-range footsies opens up direct gateways into point-blank range. Get in there and cause some damage. Okay, of course, if you guys enjoy the video, whenever it is on YouTube, you guys just comment below, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, as always, let people know we exist. Come and join the Fighter Academy, the new age Japan. It is the digital revolution of Street Fighter, immaculate play and elevation. All right, inside, outside the game, that's what we're about. Okay. All right, so far we've concentrated primarily on that vital spot right outside the opponent's poke range. Now it's time to explore some close quarters combat. Right, so element number 16. If your character has a damaging combo starting with crouching light kick, a good way to land it is by taking a step forward after forcing your opponent to block a light attack or a jumping attack, or even after a knockdown. This makes a lot of players twitch because it looks like you're going for a throw, plus nobody likes letting someone walk all over their personal space. Closing the gap carries the additional advantage of enabling you to maintain offensive pressure with longer attack strings. The exact duration of your walk depends on your opponent's habits. All right, I stress this. The exact duration of your walk depends on your opponent's habits, okay? If they like mashing buttons during block stun, then time your crouching light kick to stuff their jab startup. If they're extremely patient, then you'll need to taunt them by walking forward for quite a while. All right? So after this knockdown scenario, all right, player 1 Ken, Red Ken, does a tick with crouching light kick, right? And what he does is he walks up and sells like the idea of throw, and instead times the short to coincide with the walk back. So obviously if you walk back, you're technically blocking, right? But you're vulnerable and susceptible to low hitting attacks. Okay, so there's a couple of reasons why this works. For one, when somebody hits you with a low, right, like a low starter, they typically cancel or they follow up with some sort of special, right, which you can block mid, or they chain it into a jab, right? So the jab, if you were to walk back, you just block it, right? But you see he's doing a delay walk back. So if he does change short really fast, then he would just simply block. So let's go for like a Street Fighter 6 example of this. Okay, so let's say Cammy knocks down something like that, right? See, so this would catch the walk back if they delay it. See, like that. So if somebody walks back immediately though, then they would be out of the range of this, right? But obviously the danger of this is that if you're aware of this, then you could just go straight into like a low forward or something like that, right? Which is what some people do. They'll just low forward into drive rush, and then they get a pretty significant conversion off of it. Corner carry damage, positioning, etc. Oki, you know, cool. So when somebody walks back immediately, you know, you'll beat this, right? But most people don't do that. What they do is they block and then they delay and walk back, okay? And the reason for this, I'll show you, will be the second recording. Like this. See? So if I were to immediately walk back, I'd get hit. But if I delay and walk back like this after blocking one tick, I'm now not even in I'm not in throw range either. So if she tries to throw me immediately after this crouching short, if it's not meaty and plus, I can just literally walk out of this. So there's very little risk here. Okay. So this is how you open up somebody that is walking back, is you introduce this. See? So the risk is that you can get mashed on, obviously. So they would look like this. Right? Something like that. Okay. That's your main risk you have to worry about, is that you're leaving enough of a gap for somebody to mash against you. So you don't want to do this against somebody that is clearly just mashing, right? Especially for their layer 1. You usually want to keep it tight, right? Or you want to space things out and be just more cautious against players that show in neutral that they're very like, they just they don't care for risk, because they're likely going to play like that up close. They're even more so because there's now a more significant chance of them losing. So if you were to also do this, right? Let's say the Cammy player knocks you down and tries to throw you. You see that? This is why this is so good. Because you'll also walk out of pressure. So even if she walks up, let's say I make her walk up. Like that. Yeah, okay. Let's say I have her do that. See? And I'm out of range. And now I get like a basically what is a reverse shimmy. See? Okay. So everything has like a counter. You just have to be aware of the situation, and then you have to then explore the solutions in training mode. Okay. So that's how you would you'd manage with the light in that situation. Okay, so now let's do it after a jump attack. Okay, so this is after a jump attack. So same thing, but after a jump, you see? Let's run that back. I know it's really blurry. What do you see? So this is really strong because most people, after blocking a jumping attack, they're going to be like super passive. Because let's look at it. If we look at the advantage, right? Cammy's +7 here. Okay. Okay, so if in the event your opponent tries to walk back, which is what people do subconsciously, because they're already holding back from the jump in, right? If they block it. So they just kind of do that. They're like, oh, well, if I walk back, she's not gonna be able to throw me, right? Especially if you block it at the right range. So say like here, well, again, I'll show you. If I were to block this here, you see, I walk back, right? If I block it too deep, I don't really have the chance to walk back, because you see she's walking forward so fast. And then she also has the +7. So I can't walk out of this. But if I block it slightly further away, like here, watch. See? So it's like a reverse shimmy. This is what you'll see sometimes at high level. Okay. Okay. So yeah, this is really good. And then, you know, if somebody's hyper delaying like their button, so let's say the Cammy does this, something like that. See, I did a delay tech and I got blown up for it. See? So this is a way that you can take advantage of extremely patient players, is that you move forward. Like you almost want to touch them with your character. Like almost push them. You see? You see how Ken's kind of moving a little? So if I'm gonna put this in slow motion, right? Or 50% speed. You see how I'm getting pushed? See how she pushed me a little bit? Sometimes against like really patient players, that's how you have to pressure them. You have to make contact to the point where they're like, wait, whoa, you are in my breathing room. And then they unblock. Because remember, the point of pressure is you want to make them unblock, right? It doesn't mean you have to counter hit them. It doesn't mean that you have to punish counter them, trade with them. It doesn't mean that you have to, whatever, avoid them, you know, through hitbox interactions. The point is you make them unblock. It could be movement. It could be a button, a special, right? A super, using the engine like parry. All of that is unblocking, right? So what you have to figure out on your offensive sequences is what influence do I have in this situation, and then you use that against them. Okay, so if Ken blocks this Cammy's jump in, he's like, you notice, oh, he's walking back, and then you start to the next situation when you revisit it, you know, oh shit, okay, he's walking back, so now I'm gonna just go for a stagger low. Okay, so now let's go to, what is the last one? Or even after a knockdown. Oof, that was gross. I think he kind of actually used it here too. See, oh, okay, so look, so he used it like in a different way here though, right? He did it like, see that? He walked up and he took it back. Like he took that. He took that that chance, that turn, because his opponent was hyper patient, right? And it makes sense because look at the life lead, right? And this is where like psychology comes into the play. What makes the game exciting is reading meters. Like, what is the most likely option for my opponent? Well, he has a lot of health, so he's gonna play mad patient, right? And John Choi is down significantly, so he's thinking, man, he's not gonna overextend because he has a significant life lead. So that's why he does that short, right? You can do that short and then just confidently walk up like that. And then like he does it right here again. Off the jump though. But he uses a dash here. Right? Off of the blocks. And he does dash into the low. So these are two similar concepts, but the way he did it was so unique that it was enough to kind of mentally rattle his opponent. Because instead of doing walk up, he did dash, which is like startling. It's like, wait, what the fire? Right? And then that causes him to flinch. And then he presses the button and he gets countered. Even though the same concept just got used against him. You see what I'm saying? But it was just packaged differently. So originally he does the short, walk up short. This time he uses the jump in and uses dash instead of walk up. Right? To sell a different idea. Maybe to trigger a different lapse in focus. And then boom. All right, so element 17. One of the dirtiest tricks I've ever seen was Daigo's ST Ryu, Super Turbo, knocking down Jason Cole's Dulcim, crossing him up with a blocked heavy kick, or jump heavy kick, and then walking backward for half an eternity before nailing him with crouching medium kick into fire Hadouken. It connected because Daigo timed that crouching medium kick to coincide with Dulcim's recovery from jump heavy kick block stun, so Cole got hit low as he stood up to counter throw. This is another way to punish defensive throw attempts, and it works even in games without throw with animation. Of course, this is a variation of the element outlined above, but it's slightly more versatile because some characters don't really have crouching light kick combos. Since you're probably not hit confirming the combo here, make sure to finish with the move that leaves you safe if blocked. Okay, so let's check this out. Oh, wow. Damn, that happened so fast. You see how long he walked? That's awkward. We see things like that you do to take advantage of patient opponents. Look. See that? Wow. Bruh. So this is kind of like a this is like a shimmy before shimmies existed. Because in this game there weren't throw with animations. But what he's doing is he's catching him standing up to input the throw, right? Which was forward and heavy punch, I believe. I think it was like forward and something, but he had to let go of crouch. So he timed the button of crouch and medium kick with the finishing recovery from the block jump heavy kick. So as soon as that recovery completed, Daigo does the crouch immediate kick because that's the timing where a throw would come out. It's pretty good. Let's watch this again. See how like he walked. Damn, that was crazy. Look how far he walked back. He walked back like for so long that Dawson was still reeling from the block stun. You see how he's like sliding into him? That's all block stun for some reason. I don't know why, but. And then he just coincides it right there. That was really good. High level. See, that's what makes this so exciting is like you look at footsies as concepts like this, and then you lab, how do I solve this? Most players nowadays, what they do is like, they'll look at situations, like the big situations, like, okay, this tool, how do I stop this? How do I stop that? But these things, only very few players do this type of shit. This is what makes me feel alive, you know? Okay, element 18. Once you scare your opponent out of pushing buttons at close range, you get to walk forward at will. That's when the real fun begins. All right, let me see. Ah, okay. So you saw what happened here was, right? Hold on. Okay, this is interesting. So so similar to like the concept that we just talked about with the block stun, right? So there's no contact here, right? But the thing is, what's similar is there's proximity, so you're still close to your opponent, right? But because there's no block stun, right? Because he's clearly not in range to land his jumping attack, Mike Watson, who's playing Bison, tries to go and, you know, pressure him, right? And he puts a DP there. These type of moves make people like really hesitate, right? And they make people go, oh shit, damn, am I autopiloting? Am I being obvious? Like, why would you DP here? Or they might think you're random and they get frustrated, right? But the whole point of war is you wanna remove the head so the body falls, right? You wanna make the player fight themselves and never really have to fight you. So these type of tactics, they're really dirty and they're tricky and they can like tilt people. Okay? And they seem like crazy risky, which they are. Of course they're risky. But you can't be risk averse in fighting games. You have to know how to manage your risk. You have to know when to apply it. You can't be too conservative, especially in the fighting games nowadays, right? You have to have a balance. Okay, let's watch another example of this. Ooh. Okay. So these type of things you don't see as often in like 6 because DPs require meter for the most part, right? If you're gonna want to rely on its invincibility. But this is like a common tactic from the old school days where somebody would leave themselves like maybe negative or whatever, and the person tries to take their turn back or reestablish some sort of initiative, and then you just place the DP there, see? And again, when you hit people with these type of things, it makes them like hesitate. Wait, what the fuck was that? Did he just DP in the air? Oh, that was crazy. Okay, this is different. I guess we'll watch this just for the fun of it, but this is different, bro. He did a DP in the air, bro. This is alpha? That was crazy. Yeah, it was. So these like these tendencies, right? These are basically Cobra tendencies when people will press when you're in proximity, right? Because they think they have the right to. They think, oh, well, you're here, right? And then this is where like DPs or well-placed, well-timed light attacks are really, really strong because it basically creates a mental stack in the timing of the opponent. You can mental stack players with options, but you can also mental stack players with timing. That's something that people don't really talk about. Timing is such a abstract thing in fighting games that people don't discuss because I think people don't know how to really convey it, which is fair because, you know, music is not logical, right? It's kind of instinctual. Everybody has their own unique rhythm, right? So it makes sense that it's not really discussed because how would you even discuss it, right? But if I were to like simplify everything, there's only two timings in fighting games. There's reversal timing and there's delay. That's it. Reversal timing is always the same. But what's different is the delay. Because your delay can be a short delay, a medium delay, a long delay, an extreme delay, right? A delay with confirmation involved. You see what I'm saying? So there's so much nuance to delay, but when you understand reversal, you see how it simplifies timing, because you're like, oh, it's the fastest possible timing. So if I see somebody do a reversal timing, it doesn't matter if they're black, white, tall, skinny, fat, you know, whatever. Reversal is reversal. Doesn't matter what character they play, it's a reversal timing. It does not matter. That means they did it at the fastest possible time. Obviously, the change is going to be in the attributes of the attack. How fast is it? You know, the spacing, the damage, the advantages, you know, the hitbox, hurtbox interactions. Of course, there's nuance. But the idea still remains the same. The timing is the same if you reversal. It does not matter. Okay? Because a reversal means the fastest possible time. All right? And there's only one time to do that. It's the fastest possible time. You understand? But it's the delay that we need to master, because that is where the uniqueness of players is introduced. You understand? That is when you start to learn a player. That makes sense? Okay, let's look at this example. Oh, bruh. Wow. Oh, so he did jump jab and he landed and did flash kick. Okay, so I think he... Oh, that's Daigo, right? No, who is this? Is it Kurahashi? Kurahashi? Oh, it's Kurahashi. I think that's Kurahashi. He's like one of the best guiles. Okay, so we've got some pretty good examples of that. Now let's see. Oh yeah, so this is the once you scare them, right? Once you scare them out of pushing those buttons in that Cobra style, right? Now we see this is when you get like full reign to do whatever you want. So let's watch this. Wait. Okay, so Daigo's playing Guy? Okay. Oh my goodness, that happened so fast. Hold on, let's run it back. I know it's kind of hard to see it. Ah, okay. So it's these moments right here. I'm gonna slow this down. So it's on the. You see how he counter hits him. I don't know what button this is that he counter hits, but he does jab here and it interrupts Dalsum's, like, I guess stand heavy kick or stand medium kick. I don't know what it is, but he interrupts this, and then look, the subsequent situation. Look, they trade. Right? They trade here. See? And now you see that Afro Cole is playing like more passive. He's not as buttonsy, right? So now Daigo kind of has free reign to just close the gap. Put it on regular speed. What's this? That's so funny because Daigo still plays against Dalsum the same exact way. With like the buffers and stuff. See? That crouching, I think that was medium punch. And then you got the trade there. And you see his movement change. Like look at how Cole starts moving. You see that? He walked up and walked back. He didn't do this. You see? Whenever he would walk forward, he was pressing something. Look right here. Walks forward, press. See? And then he walks forward and walks back. See? So that shows a moment of hesitation. Something changed, right? And now you see Daigo's like free reign. Now I know you're mentally stacked before we understood what the term meant, right? Or before we had a term to coin for that. Okay, but if you pay attention to the shifts in body language, that's how you can tell somebody's changed. Okay, so let's see. Rule number 4, tactics are more reliable than gimmicks, so build your game plan around tactics. The ideal definition of a solid tactic is a 50-50 mix-up wherein both options are equally damaging, equally safe, favorable to your position over the opponent's, and designed such that no single defensive maneuver counters both options. There aren't many perfect examples out there, but 3 characters immediately come to mind. ST Vega, CVS1 Nakaruru, and MBC2 Magneto. Alright, so let's watch this. Let's watch this cheap shit. Oh yeah, this is... Yikes. 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 Bruh. Look at this. But you see, yeah, that's actually really... That is a good point. What is the difference between a gimmick and a tactic? A gimmick is just like... It's like extremely high risk. Not much thought involved behind it. You're doing it solely for the reward. Right? Whereas a tactic is probably something that when it's used, it's still going to leave you in a neutral or slightly disadvantageous situation, or even in an advantageous situation, right? But something that's not going to jeopardize too much the winning position that you're in, okay? Or jeopardize your path to that winning position, okay? Okay, so let's see. Magneto. Bruh, look at this. Look at it. Oh my, bro, what? Look at this. What are you supposed to do against this? What are you gonna do against this, bro? How do these motherfuckers block this? Oh my goodness, bro. Kite, you guessing right? You guessing right on this one frame low? You guessing right? Yeah. Oh my goodness. That shit is too good. That shit is too... Bro, you got mixed up so bad it switched games, bro. That's crazy. Conversely, a gimmick works only once because it's a trick designed to counter the opponent's most common reaction without properly accounting for alternatives. Of course, shenanigans have their uses, but only until your opponent realizes that you're bluffing about having anything else to resort to. Okay, so let's see. Your goal should be to get as close to a fully tactical game plan as possible, because that'll actually make your shenanigans considerably more effective as well. Remember, you don't get in trouble for using shenanigans. You get in trouble for depending on them. That's bars. Ooh, I like it. Okay, so that concludes element number 6. Next week, we will be talking about element number 7, which is, let's see, always be on the lookout for minor tricks which can help you help make you a little tougher to beat. For instance, knowing when to stand neutral instead of crouching is a big one. It'll seem straightforward once you read it, but many players don't know about this, and it's very useful. Probably going to be talking about how, you know, you're fatter when you crouch and stuff like that. Little things like that. But yeah, so TLDR, you know, use your proximity to trigger responses, elicit responses in your opponent defensively, and use swift and decisive timing of light attacks to coincide with their unblocking, and use that to gain knockdown, corner carry, and instill some sort of leverage through mental stack, because players will start to fight against their natural tendencies and natural timing when you do things like this. Okay, so if you guys enjoyed it, let me know. Hope you guys took something away from this. As always, I appreciate everybody that comes through, everybody that is open-minded to these things and continues to level up through being open-minded and diligent. And yeah, I appreciate you guys infinitely. You guys make me a better player, a better teacher every single time I do one of these. So I'm very thankful for you guys. I am thankful for all of our interactions, and yeah, appreciate you guys infinitely. Thank you guys.